Sometimes, to find a peaceful night's sleep, all we need to do is lift our gaze toward the night sky, where billions of stars quietly shine, like ancient stories whispering across the universe. In this video, you'll be gently lulled to sleep by wondrous scientific truths about the cosmos around us. 2 serene hours of drifting through space, where knowledge becomes a soothing melody and curiosity turns into soft waves carrying your mind away. You'll hear about distant galaxies, where light has traveled billions of years just to reach human eyes, about radiant nebulae, the cradles of newborn stars, about faraway planets and the deep, hidden black holes that slumber in the dark. Every chapter is a note, every fact a breath of the universe, inviting you to learn, to listen, and to let your mind rest. So lie back, let your eyes grow heavy, and imagine yourself drifting gently through the hazy arms of the Milky Way. The journey begins, slow, quiet, and vast, like the universe itself wrapping you softly in its embrace. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Now imagine yourself lying beneath a quiet sky, a place where every sound of the world slowly fades away. Above you stretches the endless night, wrapping you in a soft blanket of starlight and darkness. Here, all the worries of the day begin to shrink, small as a speck of dust floating in an infinite void. And you, a tiny soul, are about to embark on a wondrous journey, exploring the vast universe, not just through knowledge, but through the feeling of stillness and awe. The universe is so vast that merely thinking about it can make your heartbeat slow down. Scientists say the observable universe may contain hundreds of billions, perhaps even trillions of galaxies, a number that stretches far beyond human imagination. Try to picture this. If every galaxy were a grain of sand, then even all the beaches on Earth combined would not be enough to hold the universe. Each galaxy holds hundreds of billions of stars, and around each star may orbit its own quiet worlds, turning endlessly in the dark. All of it, every trace of life, every spark of light and energy, every moment of silence, exists together on the immense canvas of space-time we call the universe. According to data from the Hubble Space Telescope, astronomers once estimated there to be about 200 billion galaxies, but after deeper observations and calculations, they realized there might actually be as many as 2 trillion, 10 times more than humanity once believed. That means out there, countless worlds exist whose light hasn't yet reached us, simply because the distance is too great and time not yet long enough. When you look up at the night sky, that gentle starlight may have begun its journey millions, even billions of years ago. Every star you see is a message from a distant past, softly touching human eyes in this very moment. And amidst all that space, there is something truly extraordinary: silence. In the universe, there is no air to carry sound. Even when stars explode with energies billions of times stronger than atomic bombs, even when galaxies collide in violent cosmic dances, all of it happens in perfect quiet. A stillness so deep, so eternal, it feels sacred. In that silence, we can sense our own heartbeat more clearly, as if the universe is whispering, "Slow down. Everything is exactly where it's meant to be." If you close your eyes, imagine yourself drifting through space. No gravity, no up or down. All around you, countless points of light shimmer, galaxies scattered across unimaginable distances. Each one is a world of its own, filled with stars, planets, and perhaps beings looking up at their own night skies, wondering if someone, somewhere, might be looking back. You and they, though separated by billions of light years, are children of the same universe, born from stardust, floating together in the great ocean of space-time. This story may make you feel small, but not in a way that frightens you. It's a kind of smallness that comforts, a sense of being held gently within something far greater, a universe that continues to move and breathe whether we see it or not. When we gaze at the night sky, we're really looking into a mirror, a reflection of our own origins, of everything that has ever existed. Every atom in your body once burned in the heart of a distant star, cooled into cosmic dust, gathered into planets, into water, and finally into life itself. That realization is peaceful. It expands your mind, even as it softens it, like a leaf drifting quietly on the wind. Let the light of the stars soothe you. You don't need to understand everything or memorize numbers and formulas. Just listen. Just feel. The universe doesn't ask you to comprehend it. It simply invites you to experience its presence, a vastness that is not cold, a darkness that is not lonely. Because even in the deepest night, there is light. Light that has traveled billions of years just to be seen by you, right now. As your mind drifts, you may feel yourself slowly moving away from Earth. Below you, the little blue planet turns gently in the void. Above, the stars weave together into faint, glowing paths, threads of light forming an immense, invisible web. And then you realize, the universe isn't a scattering of separate galaxies. Everything is connected. Clusters, superclusters, and the vast, silent spaces between them, all woven into a magnificent cosmic web. Each strand of that web holds thousands of galaxies, while the voids between them stretch hundreds of millions of light years across, filled with pure stillness. But whether it's light or darkness, each plays its part in completing the picture, like the rhythm between inhaling and exhaling, between being and dissolving. Let your mind follow one of those glowing threads. It carries you past misty clouds of distant galaxies, through dim, shadowed regions, past glittering points that sparkle like crystals in the dark. You drift by young stars blazing bright, by great galactic clusters swirling like cosmic dancers. Slowly, a familiar glow begins to appear, a spiral galaxy with silver arms unfurling into space. That is the Milky Way, our home among the stars. As we drift beyond the Milky Way, the journey continues. Ahead of you, the darkness of the cosmos opens once more, no longer veiled by the thick glow of nearby stars. The distant clusters of light begin to blur and blend, and you start to see galaxies do not float aimlessly. They are arranged in an invisible order, a vast structure that only reveals its true shape when seen from far, far away. Scientists call it the cosmic web, a grand tapestry woven from billions of galaxies and immense filaments of dark matter. Imagine looking down from beyond the observable universe. In that view, galaxies are no longer isolated points of light, but are connected by long, delicate strands that wind through space like glowing rivers. Each strand, called a filament, is a luminous stream made up of thousands or even millions of galaxies. Between these threads lie vast empty regions, voids, cosmic hollows stretching hundreds of millions of light years across, where there is almost nothing but emptiness and dark energy. This contrast between the dense and the empty is not absence, but harmony. Like the spaces between breaths that sustain life, or the silences in music that give melody its depth, the universe too finds balance in its voids. Those immense hollows are what make the bright filaments stand out in all their beauty and connection. If we could fly through that web, the journey would unfold in perfect silence. No wind, no echoes, only a faint light, flowing slowly from one galaxy to another, like the soft breath of the universe itself. The distances between galactic clusters span hundreds of millions of light years, so vast that the very idea of near or far begins to lose meaning. On that scale, even light, the fastest thing we know, feels small and patient, taking millions of years to travel from one strand to the next. As you imagine this scene, let your mind move with the rhythm of space. Picture yourself gliding along a dim filament of light. Below you, thousands of tiny galaxies shimmer like glowing dust drifting in water. In the distance, great clusters swirl like luminous patterns carved into darkness. Around you stretch the deep, silent voids, so still that you can almost hear your thoughts dissolving into space. Astronomers say this vast web was born from faint ripples in the newborn universe, just a few 100,000 years after the Big Bang. Back then, matter was almost evenly spread, but gravity gently pulled denser regions together. Over billions of years, those regions grew, gathering both visible and dark matter, weaving the filaments and knots that telescopes now reveal. Each knot is a supercluster of galaxies. Each strand is a glowing bridge between worlds. And in between them, the voids. Time and space drift quietly, undisturbed. If the universe were a living organism, the cosmic web would be its circulatory system, where light, gravity, and energy flow endlessly. Every galaxy, even our own Milky Way, is just one tiny cell within that grand body. This thought doesn't make us feel lost. It makes us feel connected. Even in our smallness, we belong to something immense and alive. What moves us most in the face of such vastness isn't just its size, but its delicate order hidden within chaos. From afar, the cosmic web looks like glowing roots spreading through shadow, or golden veins glimmering inside a great black gem. A beauty that feels almost spiritual, a balance of fullness and emptiness, light and dark, motion and stillness. The universe is not random. It seems to be woven by laws so deep we are only beginning to understand them. Now take a slow breath and imagine yourself drifting through one of those radiant knots, a city of stars where thousands of galaxies gather together. The light of billions of suns merges into a soft, golden glow, not blinding, but warm. The spiral arms of galaxies overlap, brushing past each other like strands of silk. You feel no noise, though all around you stars are being born and dying, supernovae bursting, and streams of energy racing at the speed of light. Because at this scale, everything happens in serenity. The stillness of the universe is not emptiness, it is deep peace, where every motion folds into the quiet rhythm of space and time. Let that stillness wash over you. Imagine each thread of the cosmic web shining softly through your mind, untangling every thought from the day. You don't need to grasp the physics or the numbers. Just feel it. Out there, a vast structure embraces everything, including you, a small but inseparable part of the whole. And now, among countless glowing strands, you begin to notice one particular light, smaller yet familiar. It lies along a gentle, curving filament that glows like a ribbon of silver. As you drift closer, its shape becomes clear. A great spiral disk, its center radiant, its arms unfurling outward, shimmering with hundreds of billions of stars. You've arrived. The Milky Way, our galactic home. Take a moment to rest here, suspended in the vastness, and prepare for the next journey, the one that leads deeper into the heart of the galaxy you belong to. From within the shimmering threads of the cosmic web, we begin to drift toward a strand of light unlike any other. Its glow is neither too bright nor too dim, but warm, gentle, like the flame of a candle flickering softly in the dark. As we draw closer, we realize it isn't just a cluster of stars, but an immense spiral galaxy, quietly turning in the sea of the cosmos. Its arms curl gracefully around a radiant center, a silent dance of hundreds of billions of stars orbiting an unseen heart. That galaxy bears a name as poetic as it is ancient: the Milky Way, the silken river of light that flows across the night sky. On clear nights, when you lift your gaze upward, that faint white band stretching across the heavens is the same sight humanity's ancestors have admired for tens of thousands of years. They called it the River of the Gods, the milk spilled from the heavens. But now we know that its glow does not come from one single source. It is the combined light of hundreds of billions of stars, shining through veils of cosmic dust, painting a soft white path across the sky. And within that band of light, among countless unknown worlds, lies one tiny dot, our own solar system. If we could look upon the Milky Way from above, it would appear as a vast, flat disk spanning about 100,000 light-years. Its spiral arms wind around a glowing core, filled with billions of stars, nebulae, clusters, planets, and drifting clouds of gas. At the center, light blends into a golden haze, and as you move outward, it fades into hues of blue and silver. Seen from afar, the Milky Way looks like a luminous flower, slowly spinning in the quiet of space. And somewhere within that disk, along a small spiral arm called Orion, there is a yellow star, not too large, not too bright. That is our sun, the star we watch rise and set each day from Earth. Our solar system sits in the suburbs of the galaxy, about 25,000 light-years from its center. If the Milky Way were a great cosmic city, we would be living in a peaceful outer district, close enough to feel the light, far enough to escape the bustle of its core. The sun and billions of other stars dance together around the galactic heart, completing one grand rotation every 250 million years. That means since the first dinosaurs walked the Earth, our sun has made just a single orbit around the galaxy. There's something wondrous about that thought, knowing that even in our fleeting lifetime, this little planet is quietly voyaging through space, moving in rhythm with a colossal cosmic clock we can scarcely perceive. And within that unseen motion, there is calm. Every star, every planet, every grain of dust is doing exactly what it was meant to do. Never hurried, never lost. Imagine now that you're gliding on a soft cosmic breeze, watching the Milky Way from afar. Its silver arms rotate slowly, shimmering in the light of billions of suns. Between those shining trails lie dark bands. Not empty shadows, but clouds of cosmic dust, tiny particles that veil the starlight. Places where, after millions of years, new stars will be born. From that distance, the galaxy seems to breathe, slow, steady, and full of life. At the galaxy's center lies another mystery. There the light grows so dense it turns almost white. Stars crowd together, spinning at hundreds of kilometers per second. Yet within that blinding brightness, hidden beneath clouds of dust, rests a supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A. It weighs about 4 million times as much as the Sun. Though we cannot see it directly, we sense its pull in the orbits of nearby stars. But don't let that image trouble you. On this scale, the black hole is not a danger. It is the heart of the galaxy, keeping everything in balance, conducting the quiet symphony of the cosmos. And so, in the stillness of space, the Milky Way continues its endless spin, an unspoken melody that never stops. With each rotation, old stars fade and new ones ignite within radiant nebulae. Waves of light are born and vanish, like the breathing of time itself. And Earth, our small, fragile world, remains cradled in the sun's embrace, a speck of shining dust traveling alongside billions of other stars. If you listen closely, you might hear the silence of the galaxy, not the emptiness of nothingness, but the peace of perpetual motion. In this cosmic quiet, there is rhythm, the pulse of rotation, the hum of vibration, the slow ripple of light. It is the heartbeat of the Milky Way, the heartbeat of the universe itself. As you drift through its spiral arms, imagine yourself as a mote of glowing dust, carried along by the vast celestial current. Around you, stars gleam like tiny lanterns, and in the distance, a rose-tinted nebula glows softly, a cradle where new stars are forming. There, dust and gas gather and swirl, preparing for the quiet birth of light. Just like you, the universe never truly stops. It creates, destroys, and renews in an endless, tranquil cycle. And through it all, the Milky Way, our immense cosmic home, keeps turning silently, carrying within it hundreds of billions of untold stories. Now take a deep breath and imagine yourself drifting through one of those shining arms, the Orion Arm. Beneath you, the stars fade gently into the dark. Far ahead, a familiar golden glow appears. The sun, still burning steadily, sending light and warmth to countless small worlds. And in that still moment, you realize, even in this vast expanse, we have a place to call home. But our journey doesn't end here. Within those glowing arms, amid drifting clouds of gas and dust, lie luminous nebulae, the birthplaces of new stars, where life begins as grains of cosmic dust. So now, let's drift closer and enter a radiant nebula, the quiet cradle where newborn stars awaken in the gentle silence of the universe. From a faraway corner of the Milky Way, soft light drifts through the galaxy's spiral arms, scattering gently across quiet layers of cosmic dust. If you let your mind slow down just a little, you'll notice glowing clouds floating within that hazy glow. Clouds that seem to breathe, as if the universe itself were alive. These are not clouds of water like those above Earth, but vast swirls of dust and gas, light as mist, yet stretching across tens of light years. They are nebulae, the immense cradles where stars are born. The word nebula comes from Latin, meaning cloud. But truly, they are like the universe's rainbow clouds, where tiny grains of dust, hydrogen, helium, and other elements drift and weave together to create wonders. If you could fly through a nebula, you wouldn't see the vivid colors captured in photographs. Instead, you'd find soft, ghost-like light, a faint glow, alive with the hidden radiance of young stars buried deep within. The space inside feels like a dream, still, tender, and full of unborn life. One of the most famous of these celestial nurseries is the Orion Nebula. It lies within the familiar constellation of Orion, about 1,300 light-years from Earth. Even from that distance, its light is strong enough to be seen with the naked eye, a soft patch glowing in the winter sky. Through a telescope, Orion unfurls like a luminous storm of color, a vast cloud where thousands of young stars are being born. Inside this glowing cloud, newborn stars, only a few million years old, shine with intense ultraviolet light, causing the surrounding gas to radiate in brilliant hues. Red-orange hydrogen, blue oxygen, and rose-gold sulfur blend into a vast ribbon of color. The clouds swirl together, shaping forms that resemble gentle waves in a cosmic ocean. It's no wonder astronomers call it a stellar nursery, the nursery of stars. Each nebula is a cradle where the universe rocks its children of light to life in perfect silence. If we look deeper, the process of birth appears almost miraculous. It all begins with gravity, the invisible but steadfast force that shapes the cosmos. Within immense clouds of gas and dust, slightly denser regions begin to pull in more material. The more they draw, the denser and hotter they become. Slowly, they collapse into compact spheres, protostars, the embryos of new suns. Temperatures inside them soar to millions of degrees until something magical happens. Nuclear fusion ignites. Hydrogen transforms into helium, releasing light and energy. And in that instant, a star is born. A newborn star doesn't just illuminate itself, it awakens everything around it. Its light floods the surrounding gas, making the whole nebula glow with color. Hot winds expand outward, sculpting graceful waves and arcs of gas, carving the curves we see in telescopic images. Around many of these young stars form swirling disks of dust, where tiny grains collide, merge, and grow into rocks, planets, and moons. Somewhere within such a disk, another blue world may be quietly taking shape, just as Earth once did, billions of years ago. A nebula is like a workshop of light, where each star is forged from the breath of darkness. The space within isn't cold, but warm in its own way, warm with new energy, with the gentle motion of light and gas entwined. In the hush of that expanse, you can almost hear the heartbeat of the universe, slow, deep, and steady, with every pulse marking the birth of another star. Now imagine yourself floating inside a nebula. Around you, clouds of rose, violet, and blue swirl together like ribbons of silk underwater. Far away, a few young stars shimmer, their light piercing through veils of dust, casting delicate beams like strands of thread. The space around you is silent, yet full of motion, light drifting slowly, as though the universe is painting in stillness. You float weightlessly, thought dissolving, until only peace remains. Nebulae are not just the birthplaces of stars, they are also the memories of stars that have died. When a massive star reaches the end of its life, it explodes, scattering heavy elements into space, gold, carbon, oxygen, blending them into nearby gas clouds. From that enriched dust, new stars will one day form, carrying within them the remnants of those that came before. The universe never truly loses anything. It simply transforms, reborn again and again through the endless flow of time. It's possible that the atoms in your body once belonged to a long-dead star, perhaps one that once shone in the Orion Nebula. When you think about that, the distance between you and the cosmos disappears. You are part of its current, gentle, continuous, eternal. As the light fades, the nebula still drifts, glowing softly in the dark expanse. Inside, the young stars continue to grow, their light reflecting like pearls within mist. From time to time, a stronger star will blow away its cocoon of gas, revealing its brilliance. A moment of awakening. The beginning of a journey that may last billions of years. And so, the cycle of light begins again. From faint dust clouds to radiant skies. From stillness to the eternal blaze of fusion. Nebulae continue to weave the universe's story. A story of birth, brilliance, and transformation. Now, within the glowing nebula around you, thousands of young stars lift their first light into the dark. Let their glow touch your mind. Feel the warmth of life itself, even if only in imagination. And as those points of light slowly fade into the night, you know, a new chapter of the universe is beginning. Amid the soft haze of the nebula, as the light gently dims, a voice, calm and tender, like the universe's own breath, whispers. Within the shining nebula, the stars are growing. As time passes, they will begin their own journey. Come, let us follow the life of a star, from its first spark to its final light. Amid the radiant nebulae we've just drifted through, small points of light begin to awaken, slowly but steadily. They grow, they burn hotter, and over millions of years, their glow stabilizes. The young stars once cradled in the arms of the nebulae have now matured, breaking free from their clouds of dust to shine on their own in the vast, dark sea of the cosmos. They are beginning the longest journey of their existence, the life cycle of a star. Imagine a star like our sun. It burns quietly in space. No noise, no spectacle. Every second, in its core, trillions upon trillions of hydrogen atoms collide and fuse into helium, a massive nuclear reaction that never stops, releasing energy that makes the star shine. That light travels across space, carrying warmth, illuminating the planets that dance around it. This is the longest and most peaceful stage of a star's life, the main sequence. It's the star's springtime, a perfect balance between gravity pulling inward and thermal pressure pushing outward. A star like the Sun can remain in this phase for over 10 billion years, a span so immense that the entire history of humanity would pass in the blink of its cosmic eye. When you look up at the night sky, most of the stars you see are living through this calm, steady chapter. They shine without asking to be seen, simply existing, radiant and enduring. In their quiet light, you can almost feel the slow heartbeat of the universe, as though each star were a gentle breath of warmth in the cold ocean of space. But nothing lasts forever, not even stars. Eventually, as the hydrogen in the core is exhausted, change begins. Gravity starts to pull the core inward, compressing it tighter, while the outer layers swell outward. The surface cools, and the star's color shifts to deep orange and red. This is the red giant phase, the twilight of a star's life. If the Sun were to become a red giant one day, it would expand to dozens of times its current size, engulfing Mercury, Venus, and perhaps even reaching the orbit of Earth. But don't worry, that won't happen for another 5 billion years, long after we're gone. Picture the night sky then, a vast crimson sun hanging in silence, its copper light spilling over distant worlds. It would be a grand, solemn sight, like a lamp shining its final, gentle glow before fading away. And then something extraordinary happens. The way a star ends depends entirely on its size. For small to medium stars like our Sun, the farewell is graceful. When all fuel is spent, the star no longer has the energy to hold itself together. Its outer layers drift away into space, glowing softly in colorful rings, forming what we call a planetary nebula. At the center remains the core, a white dwarf, no larger than Earth, but heavier than the Sun. It continues to glow, not because it burns, but because it still holds the heat of billions of years of life. Over time, even that light fades. Billions of years later, it becomes a black dwarf, a cold ember adrift in the dark. No light, no warmth, only silence. Yet even then, the star isn't truly gone. Its dust and ashes will one day mingle with cosmic clouds, seeding the birth of new stars once again. For stars much larger than the Sun, however, the ending is far more dramatic. When they run out of fuel, their massive cores collapse under their own gravity, and in a single blinding instant, the outer layers explode outward in a supernova. That explosion can shine brighter than an entire galaxy for a few fleeting days, releasing more light than billions of suns. Shock waves from the blast ripple through space, scattering heavy elements: iron, carbon, gold, silver, the very building blocks of planets, oceans, and life itself. What's left behind might compress into a neutron star, just a few miles wide but unimaginably dense. A teaspoon of its matter would weigh billions of tons. If the core is even heavier, it collapses further still, becoming a black hole, a place where gravity is so intense that not even light can escape. And yet, even in that violence, the universe remains serene in its own way. Supernovae are not just endings, they are rebirths. They scatter the seeds of creation, enriching the cosmos so new stars can form. It's entirely possible that our Sun, our Earth, even you, are made from the remnants of a long dead star that exploded billions of years ago. There's a saying that captures it perfectly. We are made of stardust. And it's not just poetic, it's true. Every atom in your body, the carbon in your lungs, the calcium in your bones, the iron in your blood, was once forged in the fiery heart of a dying star. When you place your hand over your heart and feel it beat, remember, that rhythm was once the light of the cosmos. The universe is not just around you, it's within you. You are not merely looking up at the stars, you are part of them. And so the life of a star comes full circle, but never truly ends. Everything disperses, then gathers again, then shines anew, in another form, another time. The universe renews itself endlessly, quietly, faithfully, breathing in its own eternal rhythm. Now, as you drift among the stars, among those that live and those that have already died, let your mind rest. These stories are gentle reminders. Every beginning needs an ending, and every ending opens the door to a new beginning. And at the end of that long, luminous road lies one of the greatest mysteries the cosmos has ever created: the black holes. So now, let us drift closer, softly, carefully, toward one of those dark, mysterious abysses, to discover what happens in a place where even light itself cannot escape. When the light of stars fades away, the universe falls silent once more. After the brilliant explosions of supernovae, among the ashes left behind by dying light, sometimes there is nothing but pure, absolute darkness. And from the very place where light once burned brightest, one of the universe's deepest mysteries is born: the black hole. Imagine drifting through space as soft and dark as velvet. Far away, stars shimmer like grains of luminous dust. But then, right there, in the midst of the night, you see it. A patch of perfect blackness. No light, no reflection, no color. A silent void, as if someone had cut a piece from the fabric of the cosmos itself. That is a black hole, one of the strangest and most mysterious phenomena ever discovered. Despite its name, a black hole isn't empty. It's an object of unimaginable density, the remains of a massive star compressed into an infinitesimally small space. Imagine this. If we could compress our sun into a black hole, it would shrink down to the size of a single city. Inside, gravity becomes so intense that even light cannot escape. Nothing, no particle, no ray, not even time itself, can flee its pull. Once something crosses its invisible boundary, it vanishes forever. And yet, a black hole isn't a monstrous mouth devouring everything in sight. In truth, it's a singularity, a point where the laws of physics as we know them simply cease to function. No one knows what truly lies inside. Space and time themselves seem to stretch and twist to infinity. If the universe were a vast sheet of fabric, then a black hole would be the place where that fabric is stretched so far it tears. A rip in the structure of space-time itself. There are many kinds of black holes. Stellar black holes form when massive stars, many times larger than the Sun, collapse under their own gravity after a supernova explosion. They can weigh dozens, even hundreds of times more than the Sun. But far greater still are the supermassive black holes, residing at the centers of most galaxies, cosmic giants millions, even billions, of times the mass of our Sun. At the very heart of our Milky Way lies one such giant, Sagittarius A, about 4 million times the mass of the Sun, quietly spinning 26,000 light-years away, an invisible heartbeat keeping the galaxy's rhythm steady. Every black hole has a special boundary called the event horizon, the point of no return. Cross it, and all paths outward vanish. Beyond that line, no light, no signal, no hope of escape remains. Outside the event horizon, however, gas and dust often swirl in a brilliant, glowing spiral, an accretion disk, a whirlpool of light marking the final dance before darkness. It's breathtaking and haunting all at once. Light spinning in ribbons of gold and amber, radiating enormous heat before fading gently into the void. The final waltz of illumination before silence. If you could stand near a black hole, just in imagination, of course, you would see a sight found nowhere else. Before you, the sky would warp like a curved mirror. The light of distant stars would bend around the dark center, forming a glowing ring, an Einstein ring. And in the middle, there would be perfect blackness. So still, so absolute, that time itself would seem to stop. You would hear nothing, no wind, no collision, no sound. For in the vacuum of space, sound cannot travel. Only light would move, twisting, slowing, vanishing, as if the universe were quietly closing its eyes. But don't be afraid. Black holes are not raging monsters sucking everything in. If our Sun were somehow replaced by a black hole of the same mass, Earth would continue orbiting exactly as it does today. Gravity doesn't grow stronger simply because of the name. It only becomes irresistible when you get too close. At a distance, a black hole is calm, balanced, as serene as any other star. In fact, many stars and planets orbit peacefully around black holes, unharmed, just as Earth orbits the Sun, safely held by the gravity of space. Scientists are still trying to understand them. In 2019, humanity captured the first image of a black hole, M87 cone, a faint golden ring surrounding a dark center. Then in 2022, we saw the first image of Sagittarius A, our own galaxy's black hole. It appeared as a small, dim circle of darkness, yet its gravity commands hundreds of billions of stars. It doesn't roar or blaze, it simply exists. A quiet, pulsing heart beating slowly in the endless dark. In a way, black holes make us humble. They remind us that the universe isn't just beautiful, it's deeper and stranger than our minds can yet imagine. Within that darkness may lie answers we have yet to uncover. About time, about space, about the very fabric of reality itself. And though we can't peer inside, we can still gaze from afar at this living legend drifting through the silence of the cosmos. When we drift away from that dark abyss, the mind feels light again. A black hole is not only a symbol of an ending, it is also a gateway to something new. A place where matter, energy, and space-time themselves might begin again, in ways we can't yet understand. As always, the universe finds its balance. Within its deepest shadows lie the seeds of light. The mystery of black holes reminds us the cosmos never runs out of wonder, and how fortunate we are that among the darkness there are also worlds bathed in light, orbiting warm, distant suns. So now, let's leave these silent abysses behind and journey onward toward other star systems, other skies, and perhaps, just perhaps, toward other beings who might be looking back at us, drifting away from the dark abysses of cosmic black holes, where light itself disappears into perfect silence. We return to the warm, glowing regions of space. Amid the vast ocean of stars, not all shine alone. Most of the stars you see scattered across the night sky, each tiny, flickering point of light, are suns surrounded by their own quiet families of worlds. Just as our sun has Earth and its neighboring planets, so too, out there in the distance, billions of other planetary systems spin in their own steady rhythms. The universe, it turns out, is filled with countless solar systems, spread throughout the Milky Way like grains of sand across an endless cosmic shore. These worlds, the ones beyond our solar system, are called exoplanets. They are strange and wondrous places. Some bask in the fierce heat of their stars, others dwell in eternal cold. On some, a single day might last a week. On others, the skies are painted in colors no human has ever seen. And what's truly astonishing is that just a few decades ago, humanity had never seen a single one. But today, thanks to sensitive telescopes like Kepler, TESS, and James Webb, we've confirmed more than 6,000 exoplanets, with thousands more waiting to be verified. Astronomers now estimate that in our Milky Way alone, there may be tens of billions of planets, perhaps even more than the stars we can count. Which means that almost every star you see twinkling above you likely has at least one world of its own. Let your imagination drift through that vastness. Somewhere out there is a gigantic planet orbiting so close to its star that its surface blazes with fire, a hot Jupiter. Winds howl across it at thousands of kilometers per hour, carrying metallic clouds that shimmer like liquid silver. There is no sunset there, only an endless, burning day. Farther away, where light weakens and cold reigns supreme, lie frozen worlds, deep blue and white spheres circling dim, dying suns. Their skies are silent, their thin winds whisper faintly, and their surfaces are sheathed in ice a mile thick. Beautiful, desolate, and still. Between these extremes are planets much like our own, the super-Earths. They are a bit larger, a bit heavier, often wrapped in thick atmospheres, with mountains, oceans, and drifting clouds. Some might be ocean worlds, where no land breaks the surface, only endless water, hundreds of miles deep, stirred by soft, ceaseless waves. These planets, distant, solitary, and achingly poetic, each tell their own quiet story, spinning unseen in the long night of the cosmos. And among them all, humanity continues to search, not just for planets, but for life. Because somewhere among those billions of exoplanets, there are worlds that lie in the habitable zone, not too close, not too far from their stars, where liquid water can exist. And where there is water, there might be clouds, rain, oceans, and perhaps tiny living things, breathing, growing, just as life once began on Earth. Astronomers have already found several such candidates. Earth-like planets orbiting gentle suns, tens or hundreds of light years away. And maybe, just maybe, on one of those worlds, someone is looking up at their own night sky, wondering, are we alone? When you gaze at the stars tonight, imagine this. Every one of those tiny lights may be shining down on its own family of planets. Perhaps another Earth, with blue seas and green forests, a sky with 2 moons, or a world where sunsets last for hours. It's a beautiful thought, that in this vast universe, we are not alone. And even if we never reach those places, just knowing they might exist fills the heart with warmth, like knowing that somewhere in the sea of night, small lights are still burning. Exoplanets are not just destinations for science, they are fuel for wonder. They awaken in us the same curiosity that once drove explorers to the edge of the map, to look out across an unknown ocean and ask, what lies beyond? Now, humanity asks that question again, but this time, the ocean is the universe. The Kepler spacecraft once listened to the light of hundreds of thousands of stars, searching for faint, rhythmic dips as planets passed in front of their suns. Each tiny flicker of light was the heartbeat of a new world, fragile signals that opened an infinity of possibility. It's humbling and exhilarating to imagine. The cosmos may be overflowing with other homes, places where skies are painted with constellations we've never seen, where dawn breaks in shades of violet, and where, perhaps, small living beings are gazing at the same Milky Way that we see tonight. In this quiet moment, as you close your eyes, let your mind wander through those distant worlds. You drift past a frozen planet, its sun no more than a pale glimmer. You soar over an endless ocean where twilight falls in waves of purple light. And then you find a small blue world with white clouds and silver seas, so familiar it makes you smile. Perhaps somewhere out there, someone is dreaming the same dream. The universe is vast, and yet it feels so close. Every star you see is another sun, every point of light, a promise that we are not lost in the dark. Though separated by thousands of light years, we are connected by the same eternal miracle of light. And now, as your thoughts still drift among the stars, let that light guide you home. We will leave these distant worlds behind and return to where it all began, our solar system, our small home adrift in the grand sea of the cosmos. Together, let us journey back toward that familiar golden star, the sun, and meet the companions that dance quietly around it. Leaving behind the cold exoplanets and their distant suns, we begin our journey home, back to the place most familiar of all. Amid the endless ocean of stars in the Milky Way, there is a tiny, unremarkable speck, so small that no one would notice it. But to us, it is everything. A gentle yellow star glows softly, surrounded by 8 planets, countless fragments of rock, ice, and cosmic dust, all moving together in the quiet rhythm of gravity's eternal song. This is the solar system, humanity's cosmic family, the cradle where the story of life began. If the Milky Way is a vast city of hundreds of billions of stars, then our solar system is a small, humble home, tucked away in a peaceful corner of the Orion Arm, about 25,000 light-years from the galactic center. Yet within this tiny home, light, water, and matter came together to create the most extraordinary miracle the universe has ever known: consciousness. Tonight, we'll drift gently through each room of this celestial house, listening to the quiet pulse of its life. At the heart of it all shines the sun, our star. Around it orbit 8 major planets, 5 dwarf planets, hundreds of moons, millions of asteroids, and uncountable comets, all bound by the sun's gravity, that invisible thread holding the family together in its warm embrace. If you listen closely, you can almost sense their motion, slow, graceful, balanced, a soft symphony composed by the universe itself. The solar system's simplicity is deceiving, for it is the result of 4.6 billion years of cosmic history. A central star, 8 planets, 5 named dwarf planets, Ceres, Pluto, Haumea, Makemake, and Eris, and countless smaller bodies, asteroids and comets, all following their quiet paths like devoted family members circling their luminous mother. There is no chaos, no collision, only harmony, each orbiting at its own steady pace, together forming a timeless cosmic dance. If you wish to remember their order, whisper it softly. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. From Mercury, the closest and swiftest, to Neptune, the farthest and coldest, each world is a realm of its own, distinct yet connected. The 4 innermost planets, Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, are small, rocky, and sun-warmed. The outer 4, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune, are the giants of gas and ice, vast and ethereal, drifting in the frozen frontier. Between them lies the asteroid belt, a river of ancient stones, fragments left from the solar system's youth. But the solar system doesn't end there. Beyond Neptune's orbit stretches the Kuiper belt, a cold realm filled with icy bodies that glide in silence around the sun. It's the home of comets and dwarf planets, the domain where Pluto quietly resides, shimmering faintly in the far dark. Within that ring, frozen worlds reflect the sun's distant light, glittering like billions of drifting crystals in space's deep sea. Farther still lies the solar system's outermost boundary, the Oort cloud, a vast spherical shell of ice and dust stretching more than a light year and a half across. It is the birthplace of most comets we see in our skies. When one of its icy fragments strays from orbit, it falls inward toward the sun, vaporizing as it approaches, leaving behind a long, luminous tail, a traveler streaking through the night. It's humbling to realize that even at such distances, the sun's gravity still reaches out, holding these faraway fragments close. A family bound together, no matter how far they wander. Now imagine yourself drifting through the solar system. You pass Mercury, tiny and sun-scorched. Then Venus, shrouded in acid clouds, burning bright. And Earth, a soft blue gem where life blooms like music. Farther out, Mars glows red beneath its dust storms. Jupiter swirls with colossal clouds. Saturn glimmers with its delicate golden rings. Then Uranus, tilted and turquoise. And finally Neptune, where icy winds scream at nearly 2,000 kilometers per hour. Each world turns in perfect rhythm around the sun. A slow, graceful symphony without end. Even so, the solar system is but a small oasis adrift in the vast cosmic sea. The twin Voyager spacecraft, launched in 1977, have been traveling for nearly half a century, carrying the sounds, images, and greetings of humanity. Now, they have only just crossed the boundary of the sun's influence, entering interstellar space. And yet, more than 20 billion kilometers away, their faint signals still reach us, whispers from distant children calling home. Proof that even the smallest home can hold dreams big enough to touch the stars. In this stillness of space, you can almost feel the warmth of the sun, the golden heart burning at the center. It lights not just Earth, but every world in the system, sending out energy, nurturing motion, sustaining life. Every planet, every mote of dust turns to its rhythm, a choreography shaped by gravity and time, a dance that has lasted billions of years. The solar system, though just a speck in the galaxy, is the only home we know that cradles life. And in the vast darkness, it glows as a small island of balance, warmth, and hope. Now, as you float gently through this familiar space, let your mind drift closer to its center. Feel the golden sunlight spread across your imagined skin, glinting off the frozen worlds and the distant rings of ice. And as you draw nearer, you begin to see it clearly, the radiant heart itself, the sun, the mother star, the source of all warmth and light, the silent nurturer of her celestial children. So now, let us slow our journey and approach the heart of this system, where the sun shines softly, a golden greeting in the quiet. In this tranquil voyage, we'll soon visit each member of our planetary family. But first, let us pause before the one who gave them life, the brilliant, eternal star, the sun. As we drift through the frozen reaches of the Kuiper Belt, past comets and distant shards of ice, a faint light ahead begins to glow warmer, brighter, more alive. That light does not come from a planet, but from the beating heart of the solar system, the source of every motion, every orbit, every spark of life. It is the sun, the familiar golden star that greets us every morning. The sun is not a lamp suspended in the void. It is a true star, a G-type main sequence star, a yellow dwarf, a vast sphere of plasma, always churning, seething, and shining. Even from 150 million kilometers away, its warmth and light nurture every form of life on Earth. Without it, there would be no day or night, no seasons, no oceans or forests, and no us. Now, imagine slowly drawing closer. From afar, the sun appears as a gentle disk of light, glowing softly against the black of space. But as you near it, you begin to see the truth. It is immense, fierce, and alive with energy. Its diameter is about 1.39 million kilometers, 109 times that of Earth. If the sun were hollow, it could hold over 1 million Earths within it. It makes up % of the solar system's total mass, a gravitational anchor so powerful that it keeps every planet, asteroid, and mote of dust in orbit, bound together in perfect harmony. Deep in its core, hundreds of thousands of kilometers beneath the glowing surface, the temperature soars beyond 15 million degrees Celsius. There, under crushing pressure, nuclear fusion takes place. Hydrogen atoms fuse into helium, releasing staggering amounts of energy. That energy travels outward, taking tens of thousands of years to reach the surface, and then just 8 minutes and 20 seconds to cross the void and touch Earth. So every sunrise you see is a message from the past, light that began its journey over 8 minutes ago, crossing the vastness between our world and its star. Though its surface, the photosphere, is a comparatively mild 500 degrees Celsius, the light it gives off is unlike any other. A warm, steady gold that spills across oceans, glimmers through leaves, and falls softly on the faces of those we love. That light is not just energy. It is a feeling, a rhythm of life itself. Without the sun, the universe would be an endless night. With it, we have dawn, twilight, and hope. Look closely, and you'll see that the sun is far from still. Its surface is a vast ocean of plasma, restless and alive. Sunspots, cooler, darker regions, drift across it like slow-moving shadows. From time to time, great arcs of fire erupt, solar flares, jets of plasma that soar hundreds of thousands of kilometers into space, their energy powerful enough to disturb Earth's magnetic field. Yet these are not signs of chaos. They are the breathing patterns of a living star. Like a hearth flame, it flares, it settles, but it never dies. The sun is the universe's great furnace, and every beam of its light is a heartbeat, steady, patient, and life-giving. And there is comfort in knowing this. The sun is remarkably stable. It has burned for 4.6 billion years, and it will continue for at least 5 billion more before it transforms into a red giant. That means, for all of humanity's history, and for all that is yet to come, the sun will keep rising, keep shining, keep watching over Earth. In a universe that is always changing, it stands as a symbol of constancy, of faith, of the eternal rhythm that binds all things. Now imagine floating just a few million kilometers away. Light envelops you completely, yet there is no sound, only silence. You see rivers of plasma twisting and folding into one another, waves of fire surging and subsiding. Each second, billions of tons of energy flow outward, and still, you feel an overwhelming peace. Because within this fierce brilliance there is order, a rhythm, slow, steady, gentle, the breath of the sun, the breath of the solar system, and somewhere, in the distance, the quiet heartbeat of Earth and of you. From far away, the sun no longer looks like a blazing inferno. It becomes just another star, one among billions scattered across the Milky Way. But to us, it is everything. The giver of life, our oldest companion, the radiant heart that beats within the darkness. Each ray of light it sends is a reminder that no matter how small we are connected to something vast, an endless current of energy that flows through every planet, every living thing, every dream. And now that you've felt its warmth, let yourself drift outward once more. Ahead lies Mercury, the first of the sun's children, a scorched, silent world where light blazes fiercely and shadows freeze to ice. Let the sun's golden glow guide you forward, as together we continue this quiet voyage, from the shining mother star to her smallest, swiftest child. Mercury is waiting for us, as we drift away from the blazing sun, that golden heart illuminating the whole solar system. Its fierce light begins to soften, fading into a gentle amber glow. Ahead, within the velvet dark of space, two small worlds come into view, orbiting closest to their radiant parent star. These are Mercury and Venus, Earth's fiery neighbors, each carrying its own tale of extremes and silence. If the sun is the heart of the system, then these two are its boldest children, living dangerously close to the flame, forever enduring the heat and brilliance of their celestial mother. Mercury, the silent, scorched world, closest to the sun. Mercury is the smallest of all 8 planets, a gray, compact sphere of stone and metal, quietly spinning in a blaze of light. With no thick atmosphere to hold warmth, Mercury is a planet divided. One half burns, the other freezes. In the sunlit day, when the sun looms enormous in a black sky, surface temperatures soar above 430 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. But when night falls, the heat escapes into space, and the temperature plummets to 170 degrees Celsius. It is a world of opposites, light and dark, heat and cold, motion and stillness. Imagine standing on Mercury at dawn. The sun rises slowly, appearing 2 to 3 times larger than it does from Earth. Golden light spills across a gray, dusty plain, every rock glinting like metal. The sky is black, no blue, no clouds. And even in daylight, stars remain visible, shimmering faintly beyond the sun's brilliance. Everything is utterly silent. No wind, no echo, no sound. Only the stillness of time itself. And when the sun sinks below the horizon, darkness descends like a tide, and the cold creeps across the rock. If you could hear the silence, it would sound like the universe holding its breath. There are no rains, no storms, only ancient craters carved by meteors billions of years ago. Mercury has changed little since the dawn of the solar system, a quiet monument to endurance. In its emptiness lies a strange serenity, a beauty untouched and eternal. Even in its harshness, space can be gentle in its own way. Venus, Earth's beautiful and tempestuous twin. Leaving Mercury behind, we drift outward toward the second planet from the Sun, Venus. To the naked eye, Venus is dazzling, the brightest object in the night sky after the moon. For thousands of years, people called it the morning star and the evening star. Yet beneath that radiant glow hides a turbulent world, a planet where even sunlight struggles to survive the storm. Venus is nearly the same size as Earth, our so-called twin. But the resemblance ends there. Its thick atmosphere is made almost entirely of carbon dioxide, wrapped in clouds of sulfuric acid so dense that sunlight barely reaches the surface. The result is a colossal greenhouse effect, an inferno with an average surface temperature of 475 degrees, hotter even than Mercury, though it lies farther from the Sun. Air pressure is 90 times greater than on Earth, like standing nearly a kilometer beneath the ocean. Now imagine standing there. The sky is not blue, but a dull, coppery gold. The air is thick and scorching. Light scatters in every direction, erasing all shadows. The ground is a wasteland of ancient lava plains and sleeping volcanoes. There is no water, no soft breeze, only slow, suffocating heat. Under that heavy atmosphere, dawn and dusk lose their meaning. On Venus, one day lasts longer than a year, as the planet spins backward, opposite to most of the others. If you could watch the sky long enough, you would see the sun rise in the west and set in the east, a quiet paradox written by the cosmos. Time itself feels slower here, the whole world wrapped in a heavy, dreamlike haze. And yet, even in this fierce beauty, Venus captivates. Seen from space, it glows like a pearl shrouded in mist, a cosmic lantern reflecting the sun's golden fire through the darkness of the Milky Way. It reminds us that beauty does not always come from gentleness. Sometimes it is born from power and persistence. Two worlds, two lessons of the cosmos Mercury. Blistering by day, frozen by night. Venus, eternally hot, suffocating beneath its own sky. Neither can cradle life as Earth does, yet both hold quiet wisdom. The universe is not always kind, but it is always honest, always diverse. Each world has its own rhythm, its own truth, whispering lessons about balance, boundaries, and endurance. And through them, we learn to cherish the miracle that is Earth, our tender blue planet where water flows, wind sings, and life blooms beneath a gentle sun. So now, let us bid farewell to these fiery neighbors. We drift onward, leaving the blinding light behind, moving toward a softer glow ahead, a blue gem turning gracefully in the dark. From afar, you can already see it. White clouds swirling over oceans of sapphire and lands of emerald. A world alive, breathing, shimmering with color. Our home, Earth, awaits us, leaving behind the fiery neighbors, Mercury and Venus. We drift farther from the sun, escaping its blazing intensity. The light softens. The airless cold deepens. The golden glow fades into a gentle shade of blue. And there, ahead of you, suspended in the black ocean of space, appears a luminous jewel, Earth. A slow spinning sphere, half in sunlight, half in shadow, its surface painted in blues and greens and browns, wrapped in soft white ribbons of cloud. From afar, it seems so fragile, like a drop of water hanging in the void. Yet it is the only world we know that breathes with life. Earth, the blue home of life. Earth is the third planet from the Sun, perfectly placed. Not so near that it burns, not so far that it freezes. It lies within what scientists call the habitable zone, a temperate band where water can flow freely, sustaining all that lives. If the Sun is the heart of the solar system, then Earth is the heart of life itself, where light, water, and air intertwine in a vast blue symphony of existence. Seen from orbit, over 71% of Earth's surface shimmers with deep oceans, reflecting the sky's tranquil hue. Across those seas rise the continents. Green forests, golden deserts, silver mountains crowned with snow. Above them, clouds drift endlessly, white and soft like ribbons of silk, carried by currents of air and steam. Surrounding it all is a protective blanket. The atmosphere, rich with nitrogen and oxygen, holding warmth, filtering sunlight, and allowing life to flourish. If the universe is a cold desert, then Earth is its oasis, the only place where wind whispers, water dances, and living beings laugh beneath the stars. Nearly 3.8 billion years ago, in those ancient oceans, the first sparks of life began. Tiny, single-celled organisms floating in saltwater dreams. Over time, they multiplied, evolved, and shaped the world into the teeming garden we know today. Plants, animals, and humans, all part of the same unbroken story. Earth is not just a planet, it is a living chronicle, proof that even in a silent cosmos, the universe can compose music. The rhythms of Earth. Imagine yourself orbiting above it now. Beneath you, Earth turns slowly, one full rotation every 24 hours, one day, one night. On the dark side, cities flicker like constellations, human stars lighting up the shadowed half. Then dawn creeps in, and those lights fade beneath the returning sun. Each revolution around the sun, 365 days, brings the turning of the seasons, as Earth's 23.5-degree tilt spreads sunlight unevenly across its surface. This rhythm, day and night, year and season, is the heartbeat of our planet, the pulse that sustains every life. And when you pause long enough to feel it, you sense something sacred in its quiet repetition, a harmony between time and being. The moon, Earth's eternal companion. But Earth does not dance alone. Circling it is a companion. The moon, its only natural satellite, large enough to profoundly shape its partner's fate. If Earth is the storyteller, the moon is the silent listener. From the planet's earliest days, it has been there, spinning, orbiting, sharing its long cosmic history. Look up, and you'll see it hanging in the night, bathed in silver light, soft and serene. Its surface is gray and ancient, pockmarked with craters and mountains, utterly still. There is no wind, no rain, no sound. If you stood there, you would hear nothing but your own heartbeat echoing inside your helmet. And yet, the moon's pull reaches across that emptiness, drawing Earth's tides, stabilizing its axis, and calming the wild swings of its climate. Without the moon, life as we know it might never have found balance. Perhaps that's why, for as long as we've looked up, humanity has loved the moon. We've called it the gentle sister, the guardian of dreams, the mirror of longing. When the sun sets, the moon becomes a quiet lamp, glowing through the dark. From afar, Earth and moon revolve together, two dancers moving in perfect silence, circling the distant light of the sun. An eternal waltz, soft, balanced, complete. A pale blue dot now. Drift a little farther out. From the distance of Mars, you look back, and Earth becomes just a tiny blue spark in the vast dark sea. Everything you have ever known, every ocean, mountain, memory, and heartbeat exists on that fragile speck. And in that moment, you understand. Everything we love is there. Not fear, but peace fills your heart. A deep calm that comes from knowing how rare, how precious, and how miraculous our existence truly is. Earth, with its blue waters, white clouds, and brown lands, continues to turn day after day. Beneath its sky, billions of beings breathe together, sharing the same air, the same light. Perhaps that is the most beautiful sound in the universe, the sound of life itself. Now, as you gaze back one last time, the sun's light glimmers across the oceans, clouds drift lazily, and the moon keeps its silent watch beside its companion. You smile, because you know, in the immensity of space, you have found home. But our journey is not over. Far ahead, a faint red spark glows in the dark, lonely, beckoning. It is Mars, the red planet, the world that has always captured humanity's imagination, where we seek traces of ancient life. So come, slowly, gently, let us leave our blue home for a while and set our course toward that crimson world. Mars, waiting beneath its dusty skies, leaving behind the gentle blue of Earth and the silver glow of its companion, the Moon, we drift once more into the stillness of space. The soft light of home fades behind us, dissolving into the haze of the cosmic sea. Ahead, in the quiet dark, a single ember burns, small, red, and solitary. That is Mars, the fourth planet from the Sun, a world both desolate and strangely nostalgic, as if it remembers something the universe has long forgotten. And so, in the hush of night, we float closer, ready to listen to the story of the red planet. Mars, the silent flame of dust and memory from Earth. Mars glows with a copper-red hue, its color born not from fire or gas, but from dust, fine grains of iron oxide, the same substance as rust, coating its entire surface. If you could hold a handful of Martian soil, it would sift through your fingers like powder, glowing faintly red-brown in the dim sunlight. Mars is a rocky planet, half the size of Earth, with a radius of about 3,390 kilometers. Despite its smaller scale, it holds mountains, valleys, plains, and dunes so vast that silence seems to echo across them. It is a world holding its breath, waiting for warmth that never quite comes. Its atmosphere is whisper-thin, only 1% as dense as Earth's, and made mostly of carbon dioxide. The air is so sparse that even when dust storms sweep across the land, you'd barely hear them at all. By day, temperatures at the equator can rise to 20 degrees Celsius, enough to fool you into feeling warmth. But by night, the cold returns, plunging to 100 degrees Celsius. Mars is a frozen desert, a planet where light and shadow trade places in lonely rhythm. Its sky glows not blue, but a muted amber, dust suspended in every breath of wind. And when the sun sets, something extraordinary happens. The Martian sunset turns blue, a quiet inversion of Earth's fiery dusk, a tender paradox, where a red sky births a blue goodbye. The landscape of solitude. Touch down on Mars, and the scene unfolds like a dream stripped bare. Endless dunes of crimson dust stretch across the horizon, broken by scattered rocks and ancient craters. There are no rivers, no trees, only wind moving softly through silence. In the far distance rises Olympus Mons, a colossal volcano towering 22 kilometers high, nearly 3 times the height of Everest. Beyond it yawns Valles Marineris, a canyon 4,000 kilometers long, a scar carved deep into the planet's crust, like an old memory time has chosen not to heal. It is a world of grandeur and stillness, a place that feels alive only in its remembrance of what once was. Scientists believe that long ago, Mars was warmer, wetter, alive in its own way. Dry riverbeds, sediment layers, and mineral traces reveal that water once flowed here. Rivers, lakes, perhaps even shallow seas. To gaze upon those ancient valleys is to feel an ache of wonder, as though we're looking into the planet's forgotten childhood. Perhaps, in that distant past, Mars had clouds that drifted lazily, winds that carried whispers across red hills, and water that shimmered beneath a softer sun. Now, only silence remains. Yet within that silence lies a sense of eternity, a symbol of hope. If Earth is the emblem of life, then Mars is the emblem of longing. For all its barrenness, it stirs something deeply human, hope. For decades, our machines have touched its soil. Viking, curiosity, perseverance, quiet emissaries searching for signs of ancient life, for proof that we are not alone. Every photograph they send back feels like a heartbeat from the past, a whisper from another chapter of existence. And with each discovery, humanity inches closer to the question that binds us all. Are we alone in the universe? Imagine standing there yourself. The sun above you is smaller, dimmer, its warmth barely brushing your face. The air is thin, the wind faint. There is no sound but your own breathing inside your helmet, your pulse steady in your chest. In that moment, you feel something profound, a connection not just to this lonely world, but to every dreamer who has ever looked up and wondered. For Mars is not only a planet, it is a shared dream, a promise that exploration is as essential to us as breath itself, that curiosity is the quiet flame that keeps humanity awake even in its deepest sleep. Scientists often say, if Earth is the present, Mars is the future. It may one day cradle seeds, footsteps, and stories of our kind. But until that day, it remains a world of silence, cold, distant, and heartbreakingly beautiful. A red lantern glowing in the cosmic dark, holding our hopes like fragile sparks. Now, as you drift your gaze away from the red planet, you see glimmers awakening in the distance. Vast clouds swirling, endless storms that never sleep. A world so massive it could swallow 1,000 Earths whole. That is Jupiter, the giant of the solar system. So come with me, slowly and gently, as we drift outward once again, to behold the majestic world of storms, light, and eternal clouds. Jupiter, the king of planets. Leaving the lonely red deserts of Mars behind, we drift onward, farther along the orbit of the solar system, away from the dust and the chill of that barren world. The void ahead widens, darker, colder. And then, from the distance, a faint amber glow begins to bloom, immense, swirling, and impossibly vast. It is not a star, but a giant, Jupiter, the majestic ruler of the solar system, the silent guardian of worlds, and the most beautiful storm the universe has ever painted. Jupiter, the giant of clouds and storms. Jupiter is the largest of all the planets. Its mass is greater than that of every other planet combined, and if it were hollow, it could hold more than 1,000 Earths within. Yet despite its size, Jupiter spins with astonishing speed, completing one rotation in just 9.9 hours. That dizzying motion stretches its atmosphere into bands of clouds circling the planet like ribbons of wind. Seen from afar, those orange, cream, and golden streaks flow endlessly. A marble of living air turning in silence, holding within it hundreds of storms and cyclones that never cease. Look closer, and the beauty deepens. Across its surface, Vast belts and zones ripple, light and dark swirls of gas colliding, folding, and rising. Amid these cosmic rivers stands one breathtaking feature: the Great Red Spot, a massive storm larger than Earth itself that has raged for centuries. To the eye, it seems like a watchful gaze, calm yet eternal, the gentle eye of a giant who has seen eons pass. It spins slowly and steadily, never fading. The Great Red Spot is Jupiter's heartbeat, a reminder that beneath serenity, immense power always stirs. A world without a surface. Jupiter has no solid ground. It is a world of gas and liquid, made mostly of hydrogen and helium, laced with traces of ammonia, methane, and water vapor. What we see, those glowing stripes and storms, are merely the tops of cloud layers thousands of kilometers deep. If someone could land there, though no one could, they would simply sink, through gas, through mist, through endless layers of compressed air, until reaching regions so dense and hot that matter itself changes form. Deep below, perhaps, lies a tiny rocky core, a single stone heart buried beneath an ocean of storms. And yet, from afar, Jupiter appears soft, elegant, peaceful, a vast pastel canvas in slow motion. It is a living paradox, power cloaked in calm, chaos wrapped in grace. The family of moons orbiting Jupiter is a magnificent entourage. At least 95 moons, each a world with its own story. Their names come from myth, their faces carved by time. The largest of all is Ganymede, even bigger than Mercury, the largest moon in the solar system. Then Io, the fiery one, covered in volcanoes that never rest, forever spewing golden plumes of sulfur into space. Next is Europa, the frozen moon of wonder, hiding beneath its icy crust, an ocean that may cradle life in the dark, and Callisto, ancient and cratered, its surface like a diary etched with the solar system's oldest memories. Imagine gliding above Jupiter now. Below you swirls the giant planet, a colossal painting of clouds. Around it, dozens of moons shimmer like jewels, orbiting in perfect harmony. It feels like you're watching a miniature solar system, each moon a dancer, circling its quiet, powerful parent, all moving together, bound by gravity's invisible song, the silent protector. But Jupiter's beauty is not only in its storms, it is in its purpose. This giant, with its immense gravity, acts as Earth's unseen guardian. It catches or deflects countless comets and asteroids that might otherwise strike our fragile home. It is the solar system's great shield, standing silently between chaos and peace. You cannot hear Jupiter's voice, but somehow its presence feels comforting, steady, protective, ancient, like a friend who never speaks, yet always stands watch through the long night. If the sun is the heart of the solar system, then Jupiter is its deep, steady pulse, powerful yet tranquil, vast yet composed. It reminds us that strength need not roar to be felt. In the eternal whirl of its storms, there is meditation. In its thunder, a quiet grace. It is the balance of might and stillness, a godlike figure at peace within its own vastness. Now, as we slowly drift away, the warm amber glow begins to fade, dissolving into darkness once again. And ahead, a new world emerges, one no less grand, but touched with elegance. A planet dressed in golden light, encircled by ethereal rings that shimmer like silk in the void. This is Saturn, Jupiter's graceful sibling, a world of subtle beauty and endless rings turning in silence. Come with me slowly, softly, as we drift onward to behold the delicate wonder of Saturn, the realm of eternal rings. As we drift away from Jupiter, the gentle giant wrapped in eternal storms, the warm amber light begins to fade, giving way to a softer shade of pale gold. The space ahead opens into a sight so breathtaking, it feels as though our hearts slow just to take it in. Floating in the velvet dark of the cosmos is a world so radiant, so unreal in its beauty. It's Saturn, the ringed dancer suspended in the sky. If Jupiter is a grand symphony of gas and storm, then Saturn is a waltz, soft, graceful, and perfectly measured, gliding in silence among the stars. Saturn is the second largest planet in our solar system, surpassed only by Jupiter. Its diameter is about 9 times that of Earth, yet it is astonishingly light. Its density is lower than water's. If there were an ocean vast enough, this golden world would float upon it like a pale yellow balloon drifting on gentle waves. How curious it is that such an enormous world could be so light, as though the universe itself shaped it from a slow, tender breath. Saturn spins quickly too. Its day lasts only about 10.7 hours. That swift rotation flattens its poles slightly, giving it a subtle elegance, like a perfect sphere twirling softly in the cosmic breeze. Structurally, Saturn is much like Jupiter, made mostly of hydrogen and helium, with no solid ground beneath. What we see is only a thick layer of clouds, where sunlight scatters into warm, creamy shades of gold. If you tried to set foot on Saturn, you would sink endlessly through mist and vapor, deeper into dense gas until everything around you was pressure and haze. And yet, from afar, Saturn feels so real, so balanced, as if it were a masterpiece no artist dares to touch again. But what makes Saturn truly magical, unmistakable in all the heavens, are its rings. Those delicate, radiant halos that circle the planet like a crown of light. They're composed of billions of icy and rocky fragments, ranging from dust-sized grains to boulders as large as houses. Though they span more than 175,000 miles across, their average thickness is only 30 to 100 feet, so thin they would nearly vanish if viewed edge-on. The ice catches sunlight and scatters it into a faint, iridescent glow, a soft shimmer, like cosmic mist at twilight. Scientists divide these rings into multiple concentric bands, separated by gaps, the most famous being the Cassini division, carved by the gravity of a tiny moon. Through a telescope, the rings look like the flowing folds of a vast silk gown, and Saturn, poised in the center, turns slowly, like a timeless dancer performing in the quiet air of space. No sound, no rush, only motion, gentle, steady, perfect. If you imagine yourself floating near Saturn, the scene would take your breath away. Below you, the vast golden sphere. Above and around you, silver rings stretching endlessly, glowing softly under a distant sun. The silence would be absolute. No wind, no echo, no collision. Only countless icy particles gliding in their own silent orbits, each one a note in the quiet symphony of the cosmos. If there were sound, perhaps it would be the whisper of reflected light, or the faint tap of icy dust brushing Cassini's hull as it once passed through. Cassini, our small, brave spacecraft, drifted through those rings, listening to the rain of cosmic dust before diving into Saturn itself, ending its journey in silence. A gentle farewell to a mission that taught humanity the beauty of stillness. Yet Saturn is not alone. It's surrounded by a grand family, 146 known moons, each a world of its own, together composing Saturn's poetic harmony. Among them, Titan stands out. A large moon cloaked in a thick atmosphere, its surface dotted with lakes of liquid methane. If you could stand there, you'd see a hazy orange sky, a fog-draped landscape, and raindrops of methane falling soundlessly. A world cold, strange, and haunting, perhaps sheltering primitive life we have yet to imagine. And then there is Enceladus, the small, glimmering moon. Its surface is pure white ice, and from cracks near its south pole, plumes of water vapor erupt, rising hundreds of miles into space. Beneath that frozen crust lies a hidden ocean, where Cassini once found traces of organic molecules, whispering the possibility of life beneath the ice. Just the thought warms the heart. In the coldest corners of space, tiny sparks of hope still shine quietly. Saturn, with its luminous rings, its golden calm, its mysterious moons Titan and Enceladus, feels like a living painting of balance. Between silence and motion, stillness and rhythm, solitude and connection. When we look at it, we don't just see a planet. We see the artistry of the universe itself, where everything moves in harmony without ever shouting for attention. If the Sun is fire and Jupiter is strength, then Saturn is grace, a dancer without words, turning gently in the pale light upon the boundless stage of the cosmos. The longer we gaze, the more we understand. The universe knows how to be beautiful, quietly. Now, as we leave Saturn behind, its silver rings slowly fade into the dark. Ahead, space grows colder, dimmer, and from afar, a faint blue light begins to emerge. Uranus, the icy giant, tilting as though half asleep. Let's drift onward, slowly now, to discover that pale blue world, where sunlight is but a whisper in the endless night of space, leaving Saturn behind, with its shimmering rings draped like silk skirts. Our imaginary spacecraft drifts farther into the quiet depths of space. Behind us, the golden light fades into memory. Ahead, the sky shifts into a cool, gentle blue. The sun is now but a faint, distant star, its warmth barely a whisper, illuminating a hazy, slow-turning world adrift in the cold night. This is Uranus, the seventh planet of our solar system, a frozen giant, tilting softly in an endless dream. From afar, Uranus seems simple. No radiant rings like Saturn, no raging storms like Jupiter. Just a smooth, pale blue sphere, serene, misted, and still, like a jewel wrapped in frost. But in that simplicity lies its mystery and grace, a quiet note in the grand symphony of the planets. The most unusual thing about Uranus is its tilt. Its axis leans almost 98 degrees, nearly on its side relative to its orbit. If you imagine the solar system as a great spinning table, Uranus is the one planet rolling on its edge, circling the sun like a marble turned sideways. No one knows exactly why. Perhaps a colossal collision long ago knocked it over, leaving it forever tilted. And that tilt makes Uranus the gentle misfit among its siblings, slow, sleepy, yet faithfully spinning to its own rhythm. As if the universe were whispering, this planet doesn't spin like the others. It lies on its side, turning softly, like someone fast asleep, dreaming. The planet's tranquil blue hue comes from methane gas in its atmosphere, which absorbs red light and reflects blue. There are no striking cloud bands or colorful storms, only a smooth, even surface, sometimes brushed by faint white streaks of methane clouds drifting high above. Occasionally, telescopes capture a dark spot, a brief storm, that fades away without a trace. Everything here moves slowly, quietly, as if even time itself has fallen asleep. Uranus is vast, about 31,800 miles across, 4 times the size of Earth. Yet it is also the coldest planet in the solar system. Temperatures can plunge to 341 degrees and 224 degrees, so cold it feels beyond sensation, only stillness remains. Its atmosphere is thick and hazy, made of hydrogen, helium, and methane, Deep inside, gases compress into an icy ocean of water, ammonia, and frozen methane under immense pressure. If you could fly across that world, you'd see a sea of pale blue where the wind seems gentle as smoke. Yet those invisible gusts can reach speeds of 560 miles per hour. A world without clear borders, where sky and ice dissolve into one endless calm. Like Saturn, Uranus has rings too, but thin, dark, and subtle. There are 13 narrow bands, made of shadowy rocks that reflect almost no light. Without a passing spacecraft, we might never know they existed. But when sunlight glances across them, faint lines appear, delicate pencil strokes encircling the soft blue globe. Around Uranus drift 28 small moons, each with a poetic name. Titania, Oberon, Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel. Unlike the Roman gods of other planets, these moons are named after Shakespeare's characters, as though Uranus were a floating stage where literature and starlight meet. Each moon tells its own quiet story. Titania, the largest, icy, solemn, and calm. Oberon, dark and ancient, marked by deep scars of time. Ariel, bright, its surface gleaming like crystal under the sun. And Miranda, the smallest, yet the strangest. Its cliffs rise 12 miles high, and its valleys twist and ripple as if the moon were stitched together from the fragments of other worlds. All these moons circle Uranus within the same tilted plane, forming a miniature, slanted system of their own. A slow, silent dance around a dreaming wanderer in the cold sky. Because of that sideways tilt, Uranus experiences the strangest seasons in the solar system. Each pole faces the sun for 21 years, then sinks into darkness for another 21. That means in the northern hemisphere, there are summers that last 2 decades, where the sun never sets but drifts endlessly across the horizon. And in the southern hemisphere, there is a 21-year night where sunlight never comes. Then, slowly, the planet rolls, and they trade places, an eternal exchange in this slow, graceful turn. A day on Uranus lasts about 17 hours. But here, the sun rises and sets not from east to west, but from north to south. It is a world where time and light follow their own gentle rules, strange, calm, and utterly peaceful. From afar, Uranus feels impossible to describe. It isn't dazzling nor dramatic, just blue, tilted, and serene. Yet in that silence lies the beauty of surrender, like a soul adrift in sleep, floating through the cold, needing nothing but its own quiet rhythm. It reminds us that even slowness and stillness have their grace, that sometimes to tilt and dream is its own form of harmony. And so, as we drift away from this sideways giant, the soft blue light fades into the dark. Far ahead, another shade of blue begins to glow, deeper, richer, the color of an ocean beneath a moonless sky. That is Neptune, the 8th and farthest world of our solar system. Let's float onward, slowly now, to meet the deep blue god at the edge of the cosmos, where supersonic winds dance across seas of cloud. As we drift away from Uranus, the tilted giant asleep beneath its misty veil, the pale blue glow slowly melts into the boundless dark. Far behind, the sun has become only a faint star in the night, dim and distant like an old memory. And ahead, from the depths of that darkness, rises another glow, deeper, bluer, like a lone ocean drifting through the stars. This is Neptune, the 8th and farthest planet of our solar system, where the coldest and quietest winds have whispered for billions of years, unheard by anyone. Neptune is the final gem in the chain of planets circling the sun, so distant that sunlight takes more than 4 hours to reach it. That's 4.5 billion kilometers away, a distance so vast it humbles the human mind. From here, looking inward, the sun is no longer a blazing sphere but a faint lantern glowing weakly in a sea of night. And within that dim light, Neptune drifts in silence, a deep, cerulean world, mysterious and solitary. The universe's own blue lighthouse, shining softly at the edge of everything we know. If Uranus wears the pale blue of milky jade, Neptune glows with a richer, deeper cobalt hue, cool and fathomless like the ocean floor. Its color comes from methane gas, which absorbs red light and reflects blue. But on Neptune, the atmosphere is more dynamic, its layers scattering an even brighter, livelier blue. Through a telescope, you might see faint white clouds racing by, ghostly streams curling through the cold air, and sometimes dark patches bloom across the surface. These are immense storms, cousins of Jupiter's great red spot, but quieter, more shadowed. Winds there can reach 2,000 kilometers an hour, the fastest in the solar system. And yet, from the vast distance where we float, you would hear nothing. No roaring, no clash, only the silent motion of frozen air circling endlessly, like the long, quiet breath of a sleeping god. The atmosphere here is unimaginably cold, about minus 219 degrees Celsius, a chill so deep it seems to freeze even the idea of sound. At this distance, Neptune receives barely 1/900th of the sunlight that warms Earth. Daylight here feels like twilight, a blue dusk that never ends. There is no true day or night, only a perpetual evening, where dim light fades into darker blue. If you could stand there and look around, you'd see no horizon, only the endless depth of color, as if you were floating inside a dream that never wakes. And yet, in that deep cold, Neptune glows with its own hidden warmth. It radiates nearly twice as much energy as it receives from the sun. A mystery, as though the planet burns quietly with the heat of its own solitude. Encircling Neptune is a set of faint, fragile rings, barely visible, but real. They're not brilliant like Saturn's, just thin streaks of dark dust, broken and drifting, like trails of smoke across a midnight sky. Neptune is also home to 14 known moons, each a frozen pearl orbiting its deep blue god. The largest, Triton, is one of the strangest moons in the solar system. It doesn't move with Neptune's spin, but against it, dancing backward, as if hearing a rhythm only it understands. Triton's surface is made of frozen nitrogen and methane, reflecting sunlight into a faint blush of pink. At times, plumes of gas erupt from cracks in the ice, rising kilometers high before falling back as the coldest snow in the cosmos. It's a world achingly quiet, untouched by life, yet still so beautiful, steady, patient, content to exist unseen. From afar, it's a breathtaking sight, Neptune, the dark blue giant, turning slowly, and Triton, the pale pink moon, gliding gently around it. No sound, no rush, only movement, calm and eternal, like a slow waltz beneath the stars. Together, they seem to carry a kind of graceful sadness, not violent or cruel, but the tender loneliness of a world at the very edge of light. Here, the universe no longer feels loud, it only breathes. Beyond Neptune, there are no more planets. Only the vast dark of interstellar space, where comets drift and the Oort cloud spreads in silence, marking the boundary of our solar system. Beyond that, sunlight fades completely, and everything sinks into perfect stillness. Imagine standing there, at that edge, and looking back. 8 tiny planets circling a distant golden star. Everything we call home, life, history, all just a faint glimmer in the endless dark. And in that smallness lies a strange peace, because in this infinite cosmos, everything has its place. Every star, every grain of dust, every human being. As we drift away from Neptune, the last light of the solar system fades like a final breath. Ahead lies the true night, the open universe, glittering with distant stars. Our journey through the 8 planets has carried us across the full span of our cosmic home, from the blazing heart of the sun to the quiet edge of the dark. Now, to end this voyage, we turn backward, back through time itself, to the very beginning, before planets, before light, before life. When all that existed was a single point, dense beyond imagination, burning beyond measure, and then an explosion, the one that began everything. So take a deep breath and prepare for the final chapter of our journey, the dawn of the universe itself, where all things began. As we drift away from Neptune, the deep blue world spinning quietly at the outer edge of the solar system, there are no more planets ahead. Only darkness, an endless emptiness, so vast that even light seems hesitant to enter. We keep drifting, passing through the distant comet clouds of the Oort region, where time loses its meaning and space itself becomes silence. From there, when we look back, the entire solar system is just a tiny speck, a shimmering grain of dust in an eternal ocean. And in that still moment, we can't help but wonder, where did it all begin? How did everything, stars, planets, and even us, the quiet travelers floating here, emerge from nothing? The answer takes us backward in time, to the dawn of the universe. About 13.8 billion years ago, everything we now call the universe, every galaxy, every star, every atom, even the space that holds them, was once contained in a single, infinitesimal point. There was no sky, no light, no before, because time and space themselves did not yet exist. And then, in a moment beyond imagination, that point expanded, not as an explosion in space, but as the expansion of space itself. That event we call the Big Bang. In the very first second, the universe blazed with unimaginable heat, tens of billions of degrees, so hot that matter as we know it couldn't exist. There was only pure energy, particles rushing in all directions, and space stretching faster than light. It was the universe's first symphony, each particle, each beam of light a note, joining together into the music of creation. No stars, no planets, no shapes, just a sea of blinding white light, trembling and expanding. Minutes passed. As the universe cooled, protons and neutrons began to bind together, forming the first atomic nuclei, mostly hydrogen, helium, and a trace of lithium. These were the universe's first building blocks, the ancient elements that would one day become stars, worlds, and us. But at that time, the cosmos was still too hot for electrons to settle. Light couldn't travel freely. It was trapped, scattered endlessly through a glowing haze of plasma. If you could have seen it then, all you would find was a milky ocean of light, formless, boundless, radiant, and lost within itself. Then, 380,000 years after the Big Bang, something miraculous happened. The universe had cooled enough for electrons to combine with nuclei, forming the first neutral atoms. Suddenly, the universe became transparent. Light could travel freely for the first time. That was the first light, and it still echoes today, faint and ancient as the cosmic microwave background, the soft afterglow of creation itself. Even now, our instruments can hear it, a whisper of energy, cold at 270 degrees, stretched thin across the entire sky. If you listen deeply enough, you might imagine hearing the universe's first breath, a tender sigh of light awakening time. It was the first dawn, not of a world, but of existence itself. After that moment came the dark ages. The bright fog faded, leaving only drifting clouds of hydrogen and helium. Space became an endless, silent night, slowly cooling. Yet in that darkness, gravity, the invisible pull of matter, was quietly at work, drawing those clouds together. The first seeds of stars and galaxies formed in the hush, and after hundreds of millions of years, the first stars ignited, flooding the universe with light once again. It was rebirth, the dawn of galaxies. Those first stars were massive, brilliant, and short-lived. When they died, they exploded, creating heavier elements: carbon, oxygen, iron. From their remains came new stars, new worlds, and eventually, life itself. Every star you see in the night sky today is a descendant of those first suns, carrying their legacy in its light. The world we live in, our oceans, our skies, even our bodies, was born from the ashes of those ancient stars. It is a vast cycle: birth, light, and fading, repeating endlessly, like the heartbeat of the cosmos. And the universe is still expanding. Galaxies drift farther apart, slowly but relentlessly. No one knows how it will end, whether it will stretch forever, until every star goes dark, or someday collapse back to a single point again. But tonight, under the gentle hush of the stars, there's only one truth we need. The universe still exists. It still holds us. And in that silence, everything is okay. You've now heard the whole story, from the Big Bang's first breath, through the birth of stars and planets, to the quiet worlds where sunlight becomes a whisper. Everything you are, every atom in your body, once lived inside the heart of a star. So when you close your eyes, remember this: you are part of the universe. You were born from its light, its stardust, its very first breath. Take a deep breath. Feel the rhythm of the cosmos flowing through you. Slow, steady, warm. Above you, the stars still shine in silence, and the vast universe hums softly, singing you to sleep with its timeless lullaby. Sleep well, child of the stars.